You know, they really ought to put me in commercials, I'm just saying. They really need to get me to be a spokesman for them. Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Ken and I'm on a journey to lose as much weight as I possibly can so I can become a fat guy no more. Well, hello October. How about that? We are already into October, the spooky season. Are you into all the Halloween stuff? You know, I'm not really too much. We don't really decorate the house. I don't do haunted houses and stuff like that. But I sure do love watching people's YouTube videos from like out at Disneyland or Universal Studios, Halloween Horror Nights. I'm not a big fan. I don't really go to haunted houses. I did when I was younger. I didn't find most of them scary at all. I do love watching the Halloween movies though, especially the Halloween series. And I'm sure you'll probably see me with one of my Michael Myers shirts on sometime this month during a video because I absolutely love that franchise of movies. So I will be starting those here soon, as I do every year. I like to watch every one of them. Do you watch the Halloween movies? If you do, comment down below. Let me know which one is your favorite. Before I jump in, I want to ask one big favor. First off, let me say thank you to every one of you that has subscribed to this channel already. As of the recording of this video, I'm at 875 subscribers, trying to get to that magic number of 1,000. Not too far away. So if you haven't, and if you're like one of the 67% that watch these videos that haven't subscribed yet, if you would hit that subscribe button for me, help get me over that magical number of 1,000, I would greatly appreciate it. So this video is going to be a little bit different than my usual ones. I'm not going to go into details about my numbers, all that stuff. If you want to see them, I'll flash them right there for you. You could take a peek at them. They're about usual, nothing too dramatic, that's for sure. This video is going to be more about milestones. If you looked at my thumbnail, and I'm sure you did, you'll see that I passed not one, but 2 milestones this past week. 2 that I have been looking forward to, and I was very excited that I finally hit. So let's get into it. I want to talk about those. So as we know, last week I went down 6 pounds. Those 6 pounds that I had gone up, right? I'm sure it was fluid from stress and everything that had been going on, but I was glad to have that off finally. It was good to see it go bye-bye. And I wasn't really expecting a whole lot this week. And then I got on the scale Tuesday. And Tuesday, the scale finally moved a little further for me and dropped me to 360 pounds. Now you're thinking 360, that's still a lot of weight, right? Ken, isn't that your cell phone area code? Yeah, you bet it is. Even though I live in Oklahoma, I still have a Washington phone number. So that's my area code. But it also means that I've lost 235 pounds. Now, why is 235 such an important number to me? Because if you take off the 35 pounds that I lost before starting Mounjaro, that means that with Mounjaro, and now Zepbound, as we saw that I took my first shot of it in my last video, I've lost 200 pounds. I have finally hit that milestone of 200 pounds. Yeah. That one's a big one to me. I've seen that one in front of the number for so long. Now, granted, yes, overall, I've hit 235 pounds, so I've been there for a while. But specifically, since I started taking this medication, I've been wanting to hit that 200-pound mark, and I finally did. I absolutely did it, and I am so excited because to me, that was a big one. Now, to you, you might be thinking, but to me, it was a big one, and I wanted to get there, and I finally did it. But it took a while, and that's the thing that I want to point out right now, is that even though I was having speed bumps that sometimes seemed like Mount Everest, honestly, there were times that the scale just didn't want to move unless it was going up and up and up. I kept moving forward. You know, I may not make the best food choices always, but you gotta live, right? I hate the phrase YOLO, but YOLO, right? You only live once. So that's why I enjoy from time to time having something that I want. This past week, I was craving chocolate, and you know what they got out right now? Those pumpkin Reese's cups or whatever you want to call them, right? Oh man, I don't know what it is about one of those in the shape of a pumpkin. Just does it for me every fall. But what I did is I actually bought the little bit bigger bag of the smaller ones. They're much smaller. So they have much better numbers. It made me laugh because the very first one I had, you know, I peeled back the wrapper and I took a bite of it and I set it on the end table next to me and watching TV, just hanging out. And the next thing you know, I look over there, I don't know, probably about 2 or 3 hours later, and there it still sat. I didn't go back for it. Normally, back in the day, I'd have ate that 1 and 2 and 3, and then the bag would be gone. But literally about 3 hours later, I still had that, probably about 3/4 of one to eat, and I enjoyed it. Watching TV, watching the movie with the wife, whatever we were doing. Probably watching Big Brother. Gosh, that is my summer addiction. Do you guys watch Big Brother? Absolutely love that show. What I'm really attempting to say is that I try to find ways to have what I want, but have either smaller amounts or even better versions of it. So that's why a lot of the things that I cook too, I like to make that are really flavorful, really tasty, like those peanut butter cookies that I'll have a video for sometime coming up. Don't know when yet, honestly. Haven't had to make any more. I've got a few left. Gonna have a video coming out soon since it is fall, it is October, it is pumpkin season. I'm gonna try to get some out of some of my favorite pumpkin items, including my pumpkin protein cookie that I really like, some pumpkin Alfredo, and a few other things using pumpkin. Because, I love pumpkin. I'm not like a pumpkin spice guy that goes to like coffee shops and gets pumpkin spice, but I love pumpkin flavor. I love pumpkin pie. I love everything about pumpkin this time of year. So now that it's October, it's time to enjoy that. So I will make a few videos on that too, because like my Cooking with Ken videos say, I'm eating great and losing weight. And that's a big thing for me because yes, you only live once and I want to lose this weight as fast as possible. But sometimes you just have to enjoy yourself. And doing that, I've been able to lose this weight. And now I've got 200 pounds gone with Mounjaro and Zepbound, 235 pounds overall as of last Tuesday. So that's literally just one of the milestones that I hit this week, but I told you that I'd hit 2. So what was the second one? Well, just 2 days later. So on Thursday morning this last week, I got on the scale and I was down another 3 pounds. So if you're keeping track, that means that I have lost 5 pounds this week. Down 5 this week because that's as far as the scale went for me, which, that's a lot anyways. I wanted a few more. I'd have taken a few more, but I'll be happy with 5 pounds, absolutely. But what those 3 pounds did for me, those put me at 238 pounds lost overall. And that means with a starting point of 595 pounds. Now that's where I was when I started my weight loss journey. As you could see right there. Yeah, that was me, 595 pounds. And this is me when I hit 357 on the scale this past Thursday, which meant that I had lost 238 pounds overall and a grand total of 40% of my starting weight. I have lost now 40%. Think about that. I can vividly remember starting many diets over the years. I'm pretty sure I'm like the rest of you who have done that and they failed. Nothing ever worked for you. Never did for me. I don't care what I tried. If it was keto, Adkins, Weight Watchers, NutriSystem, whatever, none of it worked for me. But then in 2021, something was a little different. Early on in the year, I'd done pretty good. If you've watched my videos all along, you'll remember that, I was doing pretty good and then gained, and then when it come time to start Mounjaro, I had only maintained 35 pounds off. But I felt good about that because I went from basically January 10th to September 2nd, and I still maintained 35 pounds off. Now, normally for me, typically, I would have stopped the diet and just went up because I couldn't keep myself moving forward back then. And now, ever since starting Mounjaro, I know that I can. A lot of people like to say, yeah, well, you're taking medication to lose weight. I get messages all the time. All you have to do is exercise and eat less. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. I think I mentioned that in my 2-year video. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it at the end of this one where I talk about the first 2 years on this medication. But it's true. It's not just doing those things for a lot of people. And I believe that I am that way. I believe that whatever is inside this medication is exactly what, as I like to say, my inner skinny self has been screaming to get, and it finally got it, and now it's coming out. Might be slowly at times, but man, what a difference. 40% of my body weight is gone. I literally weigh 40% less today than I did when I started this journey, and that's amazing. Sure, It's taken, over 2.5 years to get there. But hey, that just proves that even small steps add up to giant leaps, because who would have ever thought that I would be sitting here right now talking to you having lost 40% of my body weight from when I started. Let me show you that picture again. That's me right there at 595 pounds on January 10th, 2021. I never would have thought that I'd be here right now. Ever. Period. End of discussion. I know I have a long ways to go, but the fact that I have been able to drop 40% of my weight from that photo to today, it's a true testament to not only this medication. They really ought to put me in commercials. I'm just saying. They really need to get me to be a spokesman for them, because just think about that. 238 pounds, that's a lot of weight. I know that I've not lost as much as some people, especially when you're looking at percentage of body weight. But again, if you remember, I've spent almost 2 years taking this shot every 2 weeks. And there's nothing I can do to avoid that. It just costs way too much for me to be able to take it weekly. So I've been having to stretch it out, and I've still been able to do that. Imagine what I could do if I could take this shot weekly. Holy cow. That would be something else. But I'm not going to dwell on that other than to think, man, what if, right? So this video is to celebrate the good stuff. So not only hitting the 200-pound loss mark, now 203 pounds, since I've started taking Mounjaro and Zepbound, but having lost 40% of my body weight overall. That's just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And I can't wait to see what this fall brings. I've had a number in the back of my head where I'd like to be on New Year's Eve, so I can start the new year at that weight. I'm getting close. I have a chance at it. We'll see. Again, I don't set goals. So if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. That's just how it is. But I'm getting pretty close. So while we're talking numbers, let me mention a couple different numbers here to you. So the first one is that pipe dream weight that my wife set out there for me of 275 pounds. At 357, that means I'm just 82 pounds away from that weight that my wife said I should target. Holy cow. 82 pounds. It's going to take a while, but I never thought I'd ever be that close to it. So that's just absolutely fantastic. The second number that I want to bring up is the lowest weight that I have been as an adult. That's 333 pounds. That was back after I had my stomach staple surgery back in 1998. That was an absolute and total fiasco in my mind. That's, stories for another video. But I did get down to 333 pounds, which was my lowest, with a starting weight of roughly 700 pounds. So it was just a little over 50% of my body weight that I had lost at that point. And that was fantastic. But what's really funny is I was much, much younger back then, like half my life ago. But I actually feel like today I feel better. Maybe it's because I've had to work at it more. Maybe it's because instead of just losing the weight, I've done more to go along with it. And that's, healthy eating, some exercise, albeit not much. I haven't been back on that treadmill for a while. I got to get back to that. But I've done things that have made this an entire journey and not just a diet. And I think that's what makes me love the fact that I get to celebrate that more. So with that said, at 357 pounds, that puts me 24 pounds away from the lowest I've been as an adult. And wow, I can't wait until I get to see that scale say 333. And then of course 332, and then just keep dropping after that. It's going to take a while. I understand that, but it's going to come. I know it will. I absolutely know it will. And I tell you, weeks like this past week just invigorate me that much more to keep going. I know sometimes it's tough. I've had those weeks where the scale hardly moves. If you remember, and maybe it was in the last video I mentioned having my wife jump up on the scale because I'm like, this thing isn't working. It's just not working. I couldn't get past that, 362? Something like that, whatever it was. Then I did. Got down to 360 and now 357. 5 pounds in a week this week. That's huge. I'm curious what this next week's going to bring after 2 weeks like that. 6 pounds 1 week. Again, probably just fluid. So that's, here or there, right? But then 5 pounds this week. That's massive. I can't even remember the last time I had a true 5 pound weight loss week. Again, previous week was 6 pounds, but That was after I'd just gone up those. So this got me back to where I was and another 5, and that's just fantastic. So hey, I've rambled on long enough. Again, this video is a little bit different than what I usually do. I understand that, but I just had to share those 2 amazing milestones with you guys. I have been so excited ever since I passed them, been wanting to get in here and make a video, but I did want to wait till the end of the week just to see if I lost a little bit more, but no. I've held the same since Thursday, but you know, it happens. It absolutely happens. So not too worried about that. Still excited about those 5 pounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds that I lost this week. Really excited about that. So I'm going to wrap it up right here. As always, I appreciate you coming by and watching this video. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please do. Hit that like button for me too. Leave me a comment down below. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to follow me on my journey to become a fat guy no more, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bell so you can get notifications every time I upload a new video.